Comcast has gotten a lot of negative attention in the press recently, especially because of their proposed merger with Time Warner, but now they're getting a lot of negative press because of their terrible customer service. Now, of course, they've been accused of having terrible customer service in the past, but now we have some serious evidence of that. Veronica Belmont and her husband, Ryan, were actually trying to cancel their service with Comcast. Now, I should note that Veronica Belmont works for AOL. She is a writer, so that's the reason why this was able to spread and people were paying attention to it. When they were trying to cancel their service with Comcast, they were met with a little bit of hostility. Take a look.
Okay, we'd like to disconnect. We'd like to disconnect, please.
Okay, so why is it that you don't want the faster speed? Help me understand why you don't want faster internet.
Help me understand why you can't just disconnect us. Can you disconnect our service? Yes or no?
Okay, so what I'm trying to find out is why don't you want the same offer
can
for
you
any customer
disconnect our service?
faster internet than anyone can provide you? I mean, what about those savings, those services? Are you not wanting?
Are you done?
What makes you not want that service?
You literally just a moment ago said that you would go ahead and disconnect our service, and that's what we're gonna need to do. So can you go ahead and do that now?
I'm working on that process.
Okay, great.
Okay.
How much longer is that process going to take?
I'm asking some questions while I'm going
Can you tell me how much longer?
I mean, so what about the service? I mean, is it that's causing me to want to change? What about these offers that we have available to you?
I'm good. I'm just going to wait until you can confirm that we've canceled service. So I'm just going to hang out here.
Well, you're all set. You know, it's disconnected. I'm really sorry to see you go to something that can't give you what we can. But I'd like to thank you very much for being a great part of Comcast. Have a wonderful day.
Can you give me a confirmation number for the cancellation of service?
I don't have a confirmation number.
So you have to understand the context here. They didn't start recording from the beginning because they had no idea this was going to happen. They had already signed up with a new service. So this is like him trying to convince them to stay on. They're like, okay, in the beginning, before they started recording, they went a long, long time where they're like, look, we appreciate that you're trying, but we've already made the switch. So all we need you to do is to disconnect us. And he won't do it. And on their third go around, they're like, this is so mental, let's start recording it, right? And that's why they recorded in the first place. And that's, you can sense the frustration. Anyone who's been dealing with, and it's not just cable companies, it's all these different phone companies, this company, that company. Right. You're like, dude, just do what I asked you, for Christ's sake, right?
So what's interesting about that is how the person working for Comcast thought that his efforts would be persuasive. Right? Just yell at the person on the phone and argue with them, and maybe they'll decide, you know what? Yeah, Comcast is freaking awesome. I'm gonna keep my service with you.
You know what this is, right? Let it go, let it go.
It's amazing. Okay. It's amazing.
And nobody holds it against you if you try to convince them in the beginning. That's part of your job. We all get that, right?
Without raising your voice.
Yeah, and give it a good college try. Try 1.5 times, right? And then you gotta let it go. And it's counterproductive. Then he's not gonna wanna ever sign up with you. Now look, Comcast put out a statement and stuff, but I'm not really blaming Comcast here, right? Because it's one guy. I'm sure they didn't train him to hound the guys 15 different times and absolutely refuse to disconnect. Well, I'm not sure, but I hope they didn't, right? So he could just be an outlier. And of course, they're profusely apologizing. But it's more symbolic of all the frustration we have with all the companies that we have to deal with on the phone.
Well, think about what it will be like if you have a major company like Comcast that has a monopoly. And to some degree, they already do, right? But let's say they have a monopoly and you have no choice but to deal with them. And you hear that type of customer service. I mean, look, in the area that I live in, I have no choice but to have Time Warner as my cable provider. And that kind of sucks because they have absolutely no sense of urgency when it comes to fixing problems that I have. And why would they have a sense of urgency? They have a monopoly over the area that I live in.
So no, that's a brilliant point. That's exactly right. That's the core of the problem, because you all know it too. It's not just the frustration we have over the phone. Okay, I'd like to have you come out and do my cable. Now, if you had a real company who was in a competitive environment, we actually had a free market, I mean, oh, you signed up for me? Great, I'm on it, right? I'm gonna come there and make sure you don't change your mind, right? Oh yeah, I'll get to you. I get to you in 4.5 days. Now you're gonna have to stay at home. You're gonna have to take a day off, right?
Yes.
Because I could come between 6 a.m. and 3 a.m. So, or maybe I don't come at all anyway, and then you gotta take another day off. Like, we've all lived through this, right? Why? Because it's basically a monopoly. And when you kill off your competition like that, oftentimes with the help of the government, right? Then you can be as rude to your customers as you like, because they don't have any choice. That's the problem.
Look, I am totally unaware of how Comcast pays their employees, but it could be that you make more money based on how many people you prevent from canceling their service.
Another good point by Casper.
So if that's the way they pay their employees, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they don't train their employees to argue with customers like that, but you've created a pay scale based on, keeping people. And so that's going to encourage them to argue with the customers.
It's all in the incentives and disincentives. Good point, Casper.
Thank you.
Light them up. Jesus Christ.